Hey y'all. Donuts and stuff that I just finished. This is a story time. I want to talk about how I met my husband. And I'm talking about my first husband, who's deceased now. Um, I had my two younger kids. They were babies still. Kaden wasn't even 1 year old. Uh, he had just gotten out of a coma at 2 months. He was 2 months in a coma. He was in a coma for about, I think, 6 to 7 days. And I told God, I said, Lord, if you bring him up out of this, I will serve you. I will serve you. Because I had backslidden. I used to be a Christian, well, a real Christian, um, who had a relationship with Christ. And, but at the time, I had just had Kaden. I was trying to get back to myself. I was going through major postpartum. My whole pregnancy with Kaden was like miserable. That's another story. But so, anyways, I had started losing weight and working out after I had him in waist training. I lost a lot of weight really quick, but I used to drink wine and everything. And so when Kaden was in a coma, I was like the Walking Dead. So, anyways, I had told the Lord, I said, Lord, I said, if you bring him out of this coma, if he survive, I will serve you. I was praying for him. And so when Kaden came out of the coma, I was happy. I had made a vow to the Lord to serve him. So we made it home and everything like that. I had started to watch TD Jakes sermons. And so when I was watching TD Jakes sermons or whatever, it wasn't used to, like, it wasn't the church preaching that I was used to. But it was like kind of making sense or whatever. I don't know. It was just like me by myself. And I was always able to put up a front, to where the outer appearance, I know how to build walls because it's something I learned at an early age. So, my personality and everything else is built around like my strength on the outside, how strong I am outwardly is built around um my storms that I went through as a child. So anyhow, um, I had talked to the current pastor. I used to go to his church, and when I talked to him, he said, "Well, let me call." He said, "I'm gonna call you back, Sister Margaret. I'm gonna pray and ask the Lord, do we have a script for you, like a prescription? And whatever he tell me to do, you're gonna have to do." So I'm like, okay. So we hung up the phone. I was like, Lord, please, because one thing about me, I always get saved outside of the church. I cannot get saved inside of the church. I cannot. And I cannot remain saved inside of the church because I don't know if it's my spirit conflicting with what the pastor is saying or what, but it's just my mind. I don't know. I don't know, but it just don't work for me. And so, anyways, after we hung up the phone, I said, Lord, please don't let him lie on you, saying that, thus said the Lord, you got to come to church every day, sometimes twice a day, and sometimes twice on Sunday. Please don't let him lie. So 3 days passed and I hadn't heard from the pastor. And so I had called him myself and I'm like, hey, so what was the prescription? And he said, I didn't call you back because the Lord didn't give me anything. So I just silently laughed to myself because it was like an inside joke between me and God. I don't know. I said some other things too, but it was like an inside joke. So I had started listening to TD Jakes sermons, and they were making sense and everything to me. So I just, I just, every day, all day, started listening to sermons and stuff like that. I pray and worship the Lord and everything, and was turning away from worldly things and fleshly things and all of that. When Caden, I don't know how old Caden was when I met my husband, but I know shortly after I was saved, because it didn't take long. I had met my husband. Me and my kids, we had to spend the weekend at the motel because my landlord and them, he had workers over in our house getting rid of asbestos. Now we had a big, pretty house on Detroit Street next to my sister, and it was a 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom house. Fenced in backyard, which it wasn't like a backyard. It was a garden area back there. We had a deck porch with an extended deck, a garage, the privacy gate that you could walk through. It was just a beautiful house. I just liked it because, when you go inside of the house, it was just the work. Like, it was just crafted so nice. Like, everything was like, it was like custom made. And I just liked it. I like things that's unique, that look vintage but look really good. And so, anyways, Kaden wasn't playing, but that was me and Jocelyn's house. But anyways, so I had talked to my little brother, and he was like, "I got this guy, this son of third. His name is Scott. He's a pastor. I would like you to meet this son of third." So I'm like, "Okay." So he calls me. Now, y'all, the whole time we are on the phone, our first phone conversation, we were talking like it was good conversation, but at the same time, um, he was saying that like he was a part of the army. He used to be a police officer. Well, he's from Chicago, Illinois, and everything. So I know it's rough down there. We all know it's rough. But he was saying like, everything that he was saying, the Holy Spirit was like, "That's a lie. That's a lie." Like, just revealing him to me. And so I was thought myself, okay, I'm gonna give him a chance. I'm gonna give him a chance. And it was refreshing to have somebody, you know what I'm saying, to talk to at the moment, because at the moment I was in the process of being refined. So I was going through a lot. Like, the Lord was trying me by fire. It was a lot of situations. It was situation after situation after situation. One of the major things I've dealt with and gone through in my life is depression. And so it was situation after situation after situation, like back to back. Like, I could not catch a break. Like, if it wasn't one thing, it was another. And I could not understand it then. And sometimes I would get upset. Like, a lot of times I would get upset or whatever. And then I would stay there for a few hours or whatever. And then I would decide to go ahead and put another sermon on. I would pray about it, give it to God. I would listen to another sermon. I'd be cool. Do what I needed to do concerning my children, concerning the house, whatever I needed to do. So, anyhow, me and my husband, my late husband, we talked and everything. He had good conversation. He used to make me laugh, even though he used to lie. He was a pastor, y'all. Jocelyn, stop. Look, y'all, I'm on YouTube live now. Y'all doing the most. Jocelyn, go on, quit bothering folks now. And so, these kids, something else. Y'all better go ahead on. And so, and so, anyhow, we started spending time together. He was coming over to my house and everything, and I would go over to where he was living at the time, which was a house that he owned on Auburn, where we live at, which should have been my house after my husband passed. But I didn't want anything because we wasn't together for years when he died. So, anyways, I had broke up with him a lot before we even got married. Like, proposed to me, I would not accept his hand in marriage. And so the one Sunday I did decide to go to the church because I could not sit through that because it was just I knew he didn't study the word, I knew he didn't read the word and everything like that. And I remember one night after I broke up with him one night, and I had told him like, "Can you say that you're here on purpose or whatever?" And when I put my kids to bed that night, and I was laying there talking to the Lord, and the Lord had told me He didn't tell me anything about marrying him. He told me to help him, and so I still married him. I ended up getting back with him after he begged me to get back with him. I ended up getting back with him, and
She paid hard chicken.
I mean, he really like begged me. No, absolutely not. Bring my toothpicks. Put them back in the cabinet. You're not about to go in there and play with them. Put them back in the cabinet. Now, Jocelyn.
I was gonna play with them, Mom. I made it for my teeth.
No, you're not gonna.
These curls are getting stuck in between my teeth.
Okay, you have one. Go take a seat, honey. Go get on your phone, whatever you was doing.
The internet isn't working too.
Okay, go ahead and do what you gotta do. And so, anyways,
let's breathe.
Jocelyn, leave people alone. Go sit down. Why is it one child? Goodness. So, anyways, I forgot where I was at. But anyways, we got together. Well, we ended up getting married and everything because I remember going to the church, right? And this was ordination day when he was ordaining my dad, my goddad, which I call him my dad because like he is the best father figure ever. Like he never turned us away. He rode for us. I remember him going down to CSB trying to get custody of me. Um, and everything. So I have a lot of respect onto him. Jocelyn, if you don't go sit down somewhere, turn that hoverboard off.
You said do something.
I told you to go sit down. Turn it off. Goodness, she is hard-headed. Why is it the little girls always being hard-headed and with the little sassy mouth and go sit down? So, anyways, um, my goddad. So, anyways, what was I saying? Okay, it was ordination day. So he was ordaining my goddad as pastor. He was ordaining my brother-in-law, which is my goddad's son. I'll make it make sense some other time. Um, as youth pastor, and it was a lady there, a prophetess lady. I forget her name, but I don't know what her ordination was supposed to be. But yes, but anyways, it was like a circus at the church, right? And so I had talked to my friend at the time. They lived out of town, and I said, "Girl, I had to, go that one last time or whatever." And I was telling her about, what had happened and stuff. And she was like, "Well," I was like, "Yes, everybody at the church." I mean, it was just uh, there was no order. There was I just, let me just be honest, okay? And so anyway, that day I decided like I was completely done with him. So I gave it to God. I prayed about it. I gave it to God. Prayed about it. Gave it to God. Because sometimes we pray about things and it's not fully out of our system. So we got to go on and talk to the Lord about it somehow and give it on to Him. And we got to talk to Him about it some more. And we just got to keep talking to Him about it and just keep casting it upon Him for He care until we are at peace with it. And so that we can know and be sure that we fully giving it over to him. And so my husband, my late husband, we got back together. We ended up getting married. Now, what people don't know is that we married spiritually. We took vows before God spiritually on May 25th of 2015 before we married June 2nd, legally 2015. And we had our own reasons for doing that. Now I tell it was stipulations. No, ask her to open that, please. It was stipulations as what our marriage was going to be. My only thing for him was seek God for real. Because I wasn't gonna take him back. I wasn't. And so he kept begging me, what do I need to do? This and the third. And I was like, look, you know, I'm good. We can be cool. You know what I'm saying? We can be friends if you need somebody to talk to or whatever. I'm here. But as far as a relationship or accepting your hand in marriage, I just cannot do. So finally, when I finally gave in, I was like, seek God for real or whatever. And so we married spiritually on the 25th. We legally married on the 2nd of June. And I never even knew you could marry spiritually. But yeah, I mean, in the Bible, they consummate, ain't it? Consummate their marriage. And so, anyhow, um, we got married then. And I was like, my sister and them, right? They was going to the church. I'm like, y'all, every time I get into it, whatever, I'm like, telling my sister, like, don't go to the church because he a liar, this, that, and the third. Like, my family, like, knew things about him, like, knew he was a liar, knew he this, that, and the third. But they still going to the church when I'm not. I'm like, why is y'all going to this church when y'all know these things? But, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is y'all doing there? So, um, I'm like, why they still going to the church? And they know these things or whatever. And so, we had a couple little hang-ups or whatever, a few little things I need to correct. But I remember on July 13th of 2015, oh, me and my husband, it was really bad when like, after we got legally married, like, it got really bad. My lights had gotten turned off. Um, he had this guy named Mac that he knew come turn the lights on illegally, and I guess allegedly, let me say that while I'm on this thing. Anyways, he got the lights turned on. I'm gonna say that he got them turned on. However he did it as his business. He did, So y'all asked him when y'all die. And so anyways, the tension was high, and then my brothers lived with us. And my brothers didn't make it any better. They did not make it any better because my oldest brother, he liked to be the dead horse. Like, he will walk around in your ear all day to just to make sure you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, boy, go. Like, stop trying to do that. That is your way of trying to, you know what I'm saying, manipulate a situation to make somebody, you know, to make the tension even more thicker, even more great, to make a person break up, to make a person leave the other person, whatever. So, anyways, y'all, through it all, I still follow God. We still had a lot of good moments. We did. We did have a lot of terrible moments too. And then in the process of us,
that dropped on the floor.
you never to waste no more food. You've been wasting food all week. Girl, please, a hungry person would have ate that. They would have rinsed that orange off and ate it. You talking about it dropped on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
You should have rinsed it off and ate it. Look, because you playing with the food.
No. Yeah. Me and Raymond was in there.
Jocelyn,
baby. He threw the pill at me and it fell.
See, don't eat no more in that room. Hurry up and throw that away. And so, anyways, July 13th, it was a Monday. That Friday, I threw the Friday prior, so that was 13. Let me see, 12, 11, 10. So on the 10th, so first, yep, I threw a party for my brother. His birthday was on Thursday, and I threw him a birthday party at my house and invited friends and family over because it was his first year out of jail. Um, I decided we can do it. My husband was working at the time, and we were renovating the house over on Auburn Street. I don't know why my little brother or other family, whoever that talk, how people just talk when they really don't know the story, like, because they're not the people, really thought that my money was going into renovating the house. My husband was working, okay, and his money was renovating. His money bought the drywall and everything that we needed for the house. All right. So, anyways, and the tubing and everything for all of that. Like, come on now. The Bible says if a man don't work, he don't eat, and that's what it is. And so, anyways, of course, I have kids to take care of. I cannot, take care of a grown man. I'm sorry, I have kids to take care of, and even if I was a single woman, I mean, I just cannot take care of a grown man. I just cannot. That's able. And so, anyhow, I threw a party for my brother. And so as my brother friends and our family was arriving, my husband had got off work. My sister lived right next door, so she kept the kids and for me. And so, which thank God, because I was like, whew. But she kept the kids for me. My husband wanted to take me somewhere. He was like, let's go eat. I was like, go eat where? I'm like, I done cooked all that food, for my brother party, my mom, aunties, family coming over. We're gonna have a good time. You know, this, that, and the third. And so, Jocelyn, get out the kitchen. No, Jocelyn, get out the kitchen. She bored, y'all. Get out the kitchen. So, anyways, my husband, that was the night my husband, I already seen his true colors. I already knew, like, who he was. I knew who he was before we even started dating. I knew who he was our first phone conversation because the Lord revealed him to me. Um, I knew who he was when we started dating. I knew like who he was, but like I did not know he was like capable of of like going psychotic, like trying to do a suicide homicide. I did not know he was capable of that. Now, um, he did try me a few times at the house, like how like a guy try you or whatever, because I guess my brothers, they used to talk about how well I fight and everything like that, but I haven't fought anyone in years, and so I don't know if my husband was, kind of intimidated by me or what, because I do have a strong personality, but I am vulnerable too at times, which I need to learn how to be more vulnerable because I'm just so used to doing things my way. I'm used to being independent, and I don't know, it's just kind of hard for me to submit. And that's what the Bible expects wives to do, is to submit to their husbands. Um, yeah. So yeah, we're supposed to submit to our husbands. But he didn't give me anything to submit to, and I wasn't gonna submit to the devil. And the husbands are supposed to love their wives as Christ loved the church. So that love, who is supposed to be undying agape love, period. And love is an action word and a verb at that. And so, anyways, we had Roadway out Central, and we were out by the steak and shake and everything. So I'm telling him. So I get a phone call from my cousin, my aunt daughter, and I haven't seen her in a long time. We used to kick it all the time back in the day before I had the little kids. We used to pull all nighters, drinking, having a good time, talking about our little friend guys and everything like that. Like we used to just sit out on her porch and we used to just have a good time. And so she called me and she was like, "Hey, I'm at your house. My mom here. Your mom is here." So I'm like, "Okay, we are on our way back or whatever." So when I hang up the phone, I'm telling him, "My mom, my aunt, them, they made it to the house. Let's head on back home." And he like, "I don't never get to spend no time with you." Now I don't understand why everybody I be in a relationship with say this. I clearly don't feel like that is the truth. They say because my current husband and my late husband said the same thing. They never get to spend any time with me. Where do I go? I don't go nowhere. Y'all see me, right? I'm in a gown and a scarf. I don't go anywhere unless I go to the grocery store, Dollar General, something like that to go pick up household items or grocery store. Like that's as far as I go. Then I'm right back to the house. Like I'm confined here. And in the house during the day, I'd sit in this kitchen right here because I've turned this part right here into my little office, as you all can probably see. You know, get my little stuff, my old printer that broke. Hi, printer. I'm going to fix you, baby. Don't worry. And so I was like, Charlie, like, what do you mean? We always spent time together, even though he was working. He was working long hours then, and when he came home, he was extra tired. So he would eat, take a bath, and sleep for a little bit. And but they don't. What they don't understand is that I have kids, and by my kids still being small, they still require a mother. They still require an overseer to tell them right from wrong. Yes, no, don't do this, don't do that. Especially when they were babies. Like, come on now, how are my kids supposed to be independent as babies? Like they need constant supervision 24/7. So um he had spun the van around like it had started raining. The wheels was bald head, and he tried to run us like into traffic. Oh my goodness! Like on a busy street. It wasn't Central. It was Monroe Street out past the mall. It was out past Talmadge. Y'all know how busy it is out there by. Is that Outback Steakhouse? But I don't know. But it's by the Target and all this. It's like the plaza, it's the strip, like going into um, Savannah. And I was just like, and then he was like, just pull the car into Target parking lot and punched the roof. I'm glad he did not hit me, but he punched the roof of the car like he was so mad or whatever. And so I talked sweet to him to, get him to calm down and to just take me home. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm gone. Because this, I'm not going to deal with this right here. This right here, no, because you done went all the way psychotic, for no reason. So, anyways, so anyways, we made it back to the house. So, oh my goodness, my aunt Teresa, she looked like she was so happy for me and like so proud of me. Like she that gave me the biggest hug ever. I was like, "Hi, Auntie," and she gave me the biggest hug. Not my, I was like, I was filled with the Holy Spirit at this time. I was filled. Man, that's a beautiful thing. And I went in and spoke to my other relatives and everything, and everybody was good and eating and enjoying each other's company and stuff. My brother had a good time, and it was that's what it was all about. But in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm gonna have to find a way to 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 break away from my husband, and so um, I watched sermons that weekend and praised, and prayed and everything. We did, I did all these things all often, all the time. Um, I slept with my kids in the bed, so my kids wouldn't sleep in their cribs and everything, and they don't want to sleep in their beds now. But so they were sleeping in the bed with me. So my husband, he just started sleeping on the floor, and so I had a dream. This was like the second dream I had. Sunday night going into Monday, and it was a dream about um my husband touching my daughter, who was Johnson was 2 at the time, about to be 2, or she was 2. It was a dream about him touching her. It was a dream about this lady calling me saying, "I've been trying to get in touch with you to tell you that your husband, is this, that, and the third." And I was like, in the dream, I'm like, what? So um, that morning when I woke up, he was at work. He had left for work and everything, and he worked for Paul Daniels Restoration Company at the time. And I'm gonna say allegedly, because I don't want. Um, I'm gonna say allegedly, he worked for Paul Daniels Restoration Company, and so that night before, though, before I had the dream on a Sunday, me and my sister was watching the T.D. Jakes sermon, and we were praying, and I was just like, Lord, I was like, I got myself into this. You didn't tell me to. I was just like, how do I get myself out of this? Now, back then, y'all, I had my own little link to my own understanding on what the word meant when it said, "Well, God mean what He says," But if a man um, shall look upon a woman to lust in his heart, then he has already committed adultery. And so my best friend had called me that next day, and she was like, "What? What's the matter, Doggy Bear? What's the matter with you, fat man? What a man in the lump in the rail came and did a fat boy? What's wrong, baby? Is that my man? Is that my fat boy? Is that my fat boy? Is that my fat dog? Fat dog? No bye bye. No bye bye. Boy, I will pop you. Fat dog, fat diggity dog. I love you. Jocelyn, come let your puppy bear out. You wanna go outside? Stop playing. Let him out. And so, I'm sorry, y'all. But it's so then he was like, okay, so I had the dream. And I woke up the next morning, he was at work. And my friend called and she was like, this was July 13th. I never forget my oldest son's birthday. And she was like, yeah, she was like, she was telling me that Charlie was trying to get in touch with them on their website. I'm not gonna put their website out there or their names. Um, and her and her husband's website. And then she was saying that um, he had commented something on her picture, but he had took it down. But you could still see the comment because when somebody back then, when you remove the comment, it was Facebook would still show you what they say, what they said, but it would be invisible. Now y'all know Facebook is messy. They are very messy, but anyways, so she was like, I was like, oh really? So that was my get out right there. I was like, oh, I'm leaving them. I don't care. And so he had called me around lunchtime. I was like, don't come back home. Da, 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 da. He was like, what about my stuff? I was like, you will get your stuff, but do not come back to my house, period. And he was like, and he was going to oblige because, he was scared of my brothers. And, my oldest brother didn't care for him. So he really didn't want to smoke with him. Stop playing. And so, then I left him. He he was going around my house, like sitting across the street at the hospice, like doing all type of stuff, like stalking us. He even got like my best friend them to turn on me with lies. He lies to everybody here in the city I live in to all the pastors and everything because he didn't want. I don't know if he wanted me to, he didn't want anybody else like to get to know me, or I don't know. I don't know what it was, but he lied about a lot. I mean, he told nothing but lies on me. And even though I wanted to defend myself and it hurted so bad because them lies, I was like, and I wanted to defend myself. But clearly the Lord told me to be still. And I was like, be still in the midst of this. And he was like, be still. And what I was doing back then is I was going to go on a shut-in. Uh, the same day that me and my best friend had fell out, the day that I guess he lied to them or whatever. But I had my phone like on complete silent or something like that. And I was going on a shut in. I was gonna shut the world out. Facebook, all of that. Like we wasn't dealing with it. It was gonna be nothing but us and God. Like that's it. And then what really used to upset me when I was with my husband is you are a pastor. You're supposed to be a man of God, a man of the cloth. While you working, I'm fasting for us because we're one in spirit before the Lord and for our household. And you come home arguing me, letting the devil work through you. So it was, I don't know, it was a lot. But I didn't get back with my husband after I left on July 13th. He did come back in town a few times. But well, after I moved from over there, me and my kids had to go to the women's battle shelter. Like it was just so much. And I really feel then when I went to the women's battle shelter, I was doing too much. And we moved into the apartments. We stayed there for since we moved in 2016, and we stayed till 2019. So and from here to here, 20, we stayed till 2018. You see, March 16, 17, 2018. How long did we? I'm not sure. Anyways, I got the timeline wrong somewhere. Am I missing a year? Oh well, if I am, oh well. But yeah. So I had found out last year that my husband had died. Um, and by his death, he freed me because I used to always go to the Lord about getting a divorce, and I would never hear anything back about divorcing him. And I was just like, I didn't know he was gonna die. And so I was just like, for him to be so young, he died so young. My husband was 2 years younger than me. I don't know why he looked 10 years older than me. But I thought my husband, I forgot his birthday. I thought he was older. But anyways, that is my story time. Y'all, I'm tired. I'm very tired. The next time, today I was all over the place, but next time I'm gonna have to write down some dang on timelines and look at the paper, and we're gonna talk about the topics like that. We do story times, but y'all, yes, I did do my oil last night. I'm so excited and so happy about it. Um, for the skin, I will be doing a trial on it, but it'll be after I get Kaden, my skincare regime together as a whole. So no, Kaden, these kids. So I'm very tired though, you guys. I'm about to go take a nap, and the little kids gonna take one right with me. So y'all have a blessed day. Y'all know to pray, put and keep God first, and acknowledge Him in all of your ways, and lean not to your own understanding. And He will direct your path. That's what His words say. Everything that God says, you can take as face value. It's a promise. It's true. He's not a liar, and He's not a son of man that He should repent. He's not a liar, so we can trust His word. We can trust Him in His word. Um, y'all have a good one. What is this button for? Oh, they let you. Okay.
Oh no.
Kaden,
Yeah.
stop.